Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Seattle Seahawks and the Minnesota Vikings. It's the first weekend of autumn and the NFL is in full swing as off we go on EA Sports. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback and it comes out to the 25-yard line. They'll run for the first time with Hill. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Throw left side, taken in by Hill. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 7 yards on the play. And that'll bring up what looks to be a third and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot. Try and push the pile. And the penetration too strong. He won't make it back to the line of scrimmage.
I get the thought process. Third and short, give it to the fullback, let him bulldoze his way. But that means you're counting on your offensive line to win the line of scrimmage, aren't you?
Yeah, and there was just a mass of bodies there at the line. Looked like more defenders than offensive guys. Winds up losing yardage. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And a nice run past the 30-yard line there. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down. Well, you often say that sort of opens the playbook now, second and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. A really good pickup of 28 yards. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10, right at the 40. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
All right, Brand, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
To throw on second down. Johnson. And Johnson lost the football. It's loose, poked out. And the Vikings pick up the football. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, it's going to be hot routes. If they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback, they've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
And he takes it across midfield to the 45. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Looking to throw on second down. Daniels. A dump off now to Hill. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now a first down carry. It's Hill. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
To throw on second down. Daniels. Pushing through the contact. And he'll take this across midfield and inside the 45. That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
Off the play fake. Johnson. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off at the 21. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27.
Oh, man, Brandon, not a real good throw that time. It looked like he tried to put a little too much air under this one, and it turned into a floater. And defensively, this is a dream. He could have fair caught that one. That was way too easy.
The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Looking to throw on second down. Daniels. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Marshall, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down. And this pass defense, they were sensational in the win last week, and they're looking good here so far in this first quarter.
You know, we often talk about how offenses get locked in, and that runs over multiple games where they're really, in that zone. Defenses can be the exact same way, and I think we're seeing an example of it here.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the gun, Daniels. And the Seahawks defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Jadeveon Clowney able to track him down for a loss of 13, and it'll bring up 4th down. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And taken right on the 30. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. And that negates a pretty decent punt return.
And the goal is to gain a first down on a punt return, which is 10 yards. This was much more than that, but it is going to come back due to the illegal block in the back.
Good starting field position here for the Seahawks as they come up 1st and 10. Johnson now operating from the gun, eluding the pressure right. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 45. And his crew will take over at their own 45-yard line.
I think that interception happened for two reasons. Quarterback gets outside the pocket and panics a little bit, and receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. So there's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open.
Got to know that you're open. Otherwise, just don't do it.
They start the drive on the ground with Hill. And he's up across midfield and down into Seattle territory. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
On 2nd down, Hill's hit, and he lost the football. But a Viking was able to corral this one, and Minnesota will keep possession.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And he loses the football a 2nd time. And the Seahawks have recovered. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. Didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And incomplete there, almost picked off. That's one you maybe expect your roaming free safety to come up with. But it's 2nd down. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Here's Johnson throwing again. Being chased out left. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
They had a good game catching the ball in the backfield a week ago, and they're going to try and involve him in that way in this game as well. But you can tell scouting is taking over. They're making it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, defensively, they told us, hey, we've got to take him out of the passing game, limit it to just short runs, because he can really impact this offense. Now Johnson to throw on 3rd down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
And they're picking up right where they left off with the shutout that they pitched last week. A huge part of that, this pass rush. They know how to get after people.
Offensively, good luck finding some answers right now. This is taken around the 12. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And they got across the 50 last time, but fumbled and turned it over, so they'll be looking to have a short-term memory here, Mr. Davis.
Not only a short-term memory, but a whole lot better ball security. Because if they take care of the ball, continue to move it, their chances of scoring some points, they've got to feel pretty good about. They thought they had things moving in the right direction last time. Fumbles, they don't just affect you on offense, they affect your overall team because now your defense has to make that stand up.
Detroit! Detroit!
On 1st down, Daniels flush to his right. And some space here. Wide open receiver complete. And he takes it all the way down to the 32. It's a big one there for the Vikings. 41 yards. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. They'll run on 1st down. Hill. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. The penalty moves him into the red zone here on 1st and 10. Handoff comes to Cook. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Watch him now, Barney. Barney. Gone, gone. Gone, gone. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Hill. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It'll be a 5-yard pickup there. So from 2nd and 13, they're back to a more manageable 3rd and 8.
Watch him now, Barney. Barney.
Off play action. Daniels. And that is incomplete.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now, since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. And Butker able to put this one through. And the Vikings have a 3-0 lead. So still no touchdowns in the first half, but we do have some action on the scoreboard with the field goal.
So maybe now the mentality changes in this game, because anytime you can get to the red zone, and if you don't come away with 6 points, you feel like it's a disappointment. In a game like this one, being able to kick field goals means you're right there, and then you're just looking for that big break to take you over the top.
The Seattle now ready to march out of the field and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win 1st down. You win 2nd down. And guess what? You start accumulating 1st downs, and that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives them a new set of downs.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
No. Check. Patriot. Patriot. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Flushed out right. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. They give him a gain of 38.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Back to throw. Johnson. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And the Seahawks are able to strike for 6. And that drive happened quickly, which is great because they scored the points, but then their defense has to come right back out on the field.
It is exciting, isn't it, for the offense to do that? The defense is saying, okay, that's cool, but let's not make it a habit. We need to get some rest sometime.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Forced out to his left. And got his man complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A gain of 39 that time.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside, and he just showed it right there. Pretty good arm, too.
Watch him now, Barney.
On 1st down, Hill. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
Detroit! Detroit! Here we go now. Blue 90! Blue 90! Gone! 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 Gone!
To throw on second down. Daniels. He's going to float this over the middle. And this is going to be intercepted. Good positioning, and it's picked off. And they get the football, but not much on the return here as he stopped at the 7-yard line.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll be hit and dropped for a loss at the 5-yard line.
That goes down as a loss against his rushing stats. But really, should he have to absorb that one? He had no chance on that play before they overwhelmed him.
Pretty much on top of him before he could take his first step. He's got a man. That's caught. Left sideline. And mark him down way up close to the 40 at the 39. An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, he was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice first down.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
And they'll go on the ground. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. Just a couple there on the second down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
No, check, Patriot!
Looking to throw. Johnson. Buying time to his left. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked up by Minka Fitzpatrick. They are in an interception mood on defense. Had 2 nice interceptions a week ago. Now 2 here in the first half.
Yeah, we call it ball hawking. And the only way to truly be good ball hawks is not guessing. It's not just simply anticipation. It's study and understanding what they like to do and beating them to the spot and creating big plays.
They're watching the film, and it's working. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Oh, he can't hang on. That was a dream chance for any D lineman to possibly get a pick. But instead it falls down incomplete.
Watch him now, Barney.
Here's
Barney.
2nd and 10 now from the 29.
Gone!
To throw again. Daniels dancing to his left. That's going to be caught. And now running right through it. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. That one goes for 24 yards. Operating from the gun. Daniels. The quick slant caught. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. In for the score. And the Vikings are able to strike for 6.
And that's exactly what you're supposed to do with good field position. You make the other side pay when you don't have far to go for the score.
Butker now to kick this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. And out now come the Seahawks. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first.
I know that play went to the left side, and that's what it was designed to do, an outside handoff there. But how about the whole offensive line being involved? Seal the left side where the play was going, what they call play side. But how about on the back side?
And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. A big play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Seahawks get the quick strike touchdown. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead is now 14-10. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. These two teams trading touchdowns here in what has been a back-and-forth first half.
And ordinarily, we're trying to figure out how to break out of a stalemate. Here, you're trying to figure out if you can slow someone down while continuing your breakneck pace on offense. I know one thing. The people in the crowd, they're getting their money's worth right now.
And the fantasy owners like it.
Oh, without a doubt. They're just tallying them up, aren't they?
They're watching this game. They go play action here on first down. Sliding out of the pocket. He's going to let it go deep. He's got him in. Complete. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That one goes for 36 yards. First down now, but that clock rolling. Throwing on first down. Daniels escaping the pressure right. And fights him off. But in the end, the pressure too great, and he goes down.
Like the footwork back there. I thought you did a pretty good job of evading that first wave of players. Tried to buy a little extra time out of the pocket, but in the end, oh, that was a tough one.
Yeah, winds up getting buried for the loss. The sack cost him only a yard. It's 2nd and 11. From the gun, Daniels underneath here to Hill. Space to run past the 20. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in the zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Eluding the pressure right. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Off the play fake. Daniels. Now he's forced out left. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off inside the 5. They were looking for Marshall that time.
Watching now, Barney. Back down to that Philly. Here we go. Watching now, Barney. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
And on the ground they go with a running back. They'll try to get forward, but he's going to be stopped in his tracks at about the 3. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. From deep in their own territory, they look to throw. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And for the fourth time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off at the 30. And he is going to get this one back to the 20-yard line. And we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he is out of bounds as they'll start up past the 30. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to come back onto the field. We have not seen much on offense from either side. These last few drives, it has been a struggle, hasn't it?
Totally, and you're thinking to yourself right now, if you're on offense trying to get things figured out, okay, we self-scout every week in our game plan. How many things do we do at certain times? What are our tendencies? Time to go to some of those tendency breakers and try and create some offense.
They always have those in their back pocket, don't they?
You have to, and if you don't keep abreast of what you're doing, you lock into a rhythm and make it easy for the opposition.
Looking for tendency breakers right now.
It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff.
Johnson looking to throw on second down. Flush to his right. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. The escapability in evidence there is that one good for 15 and a first. Johnson now on first down. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. And they'll go with the ground attack here. Touchdown, Seattle. A great play there. His third touchdown now on the year. And the Seahawks add on to their lead. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve.
Now let's go. Green 39. Green 39.
Looking to throw on second down. Daniels. His throw incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. On third down, Daniels. And incomplete here on third down.
Well, we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Fielded at the 20. Good blocking there. Nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive.
And now here is another interception. picked off around the 41. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the second week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirt.
Yeah, he better figure whatever the reason is. He better nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and the Seahawks have recovered. So he went out of the pocket left, and then things got dicey.
And what often happens is when they get outside, they want to keep their eyes downfield in order to try and complete a pass. But when they try to make a play, they've got to get their footwork involved, and that can really mess them up as well. And in this case, nothing went right, and the ball got knocked free.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll fall forward to the 29-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game. And while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
And they'll run it here. And he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Here's Johnson on 3rd and 2. Flushed out right. And he fires one, but incomplete.
I know every offense wants to start their snaps closer to the goal line, but it's actually harder to throw the ball in those situations. You throw into that tight coverage, you see what happens. Hard to get the ball in there.
Not enough space there. Lucky maybe that it wasn't intercepted. A good drive gets him inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
And now out comes Minnesota. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
You like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
They'll try to get the offense going with Hill. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
Well, if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Set! 3-19! 3-19! Detroit!
To throw on 2nd down. Daniels escaping the pressure right. On the run, he'll let it. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. He got 29 yards that time.
No. Check. Patriot! Detroit! Gun!
On 1st and 10, Daniels. And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle.
Detroit!
Off play action. Daniels. He's going to let it go deep for Mitchell. And he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on. 3rd down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. They just do get the play off as he'll look to throw. He sets to fire deep. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a fourth down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. They'll run it now out of the gun. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
Whenever we meet with coaches and they always talk about wanting to establish running the football, it's oftentimes with a good tight end who can control the line of scrimmage and the point of attack, and they're becoming harder to find because the colleges are giving us a whole lot of receiving tight ends, former wide receivers who can run, not necessarily block very well. In this case, though, we saw two tight ends on the field, both of them with the ability to block, and they ran the ball successfully behind that power set.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And not much, maybe a yard up to the 29.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Now Johnson, off play action. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Minka Fitzpatrick, and they'll set up shop right near midfield at the 49-yard line.
Leopard! Detroit! Gone!
On first down, Daniels steps away to his left. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that, and thus far they've been successful.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down.
Lucky 56. Gone.
Throwing again. Daniels. That's out to Hill, right side complete. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. Give him 7 on the play. And just like that, it's third down. Operating from the gun. Daniels. He is going to find Hill here. And he will have the first down, but he winds up taking a pretty good shot that time. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains. Throwing on first down. Daniels taking a shot here for Marshall. And it'll be intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
The good old cover 3 defense, partner. When you start playing football as a safety, that's the first thing you're taught. middle of the field, be as deep as the deepest receiver in any zone, and break on the football when it's thrown and pick it off, just as we saw there.
He'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 23.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now a handoff looking right. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19.
And they'll go on the ground. And shedding through the tackle. And shedding his way forward. Still going. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
That's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. From the gun, Johnson being chased out left. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Lucky 56.
Johnson from the gun, he'll throw. And they almost had another one. They are all over the football in this game. Nearly another pick. Now 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Now the Vikings now heading onto the field. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
My man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire late at night.
Gone!
Off the play fake. Daniels rolling to his left. Now he'll turn and throw deep back to the other side of the field. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time.
Lucky 56. Gone!
Throwing on 3rd and long. Daniels. And incomplete on the deep ball.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Here's Matt Weil now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And this ball's going to be down now right at the 10-yard line. Good spot. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Now, check. Patriot!
Johnson now on 1st and 10. And Johnson lost the football. It's loose, poked out. But I believe a Seahawk was able to get a handle on this, so this will remain Seattle ball.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other.
And got his man complete. And all the way down to the 29. A big play that time for the Seahawks. And even 50 yards. So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Here's Johnson throwing on 1st down. His throw caught right around the 6. A really good pickup of 28 yards. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit them, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Now Johnson operating from the gun. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. As his guys are in for 6. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. They have the lead in the 4th, but still passing. Finding the big target for the touchdown. Now that lead grows even more.
Everybody gets to join in the fun. You know, it doesn't have to just be the wide receivers catching touchdown passes. The tight end doesn't just have to do just the dirty work inside. He gets a chance to get into the end zone as well.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And out now come the Vikings. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
He's got a man complete. A big play there for Minnesota. 41 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
Throwing left side, it's complete. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
Watch him now, Barney!
They'll try to pound it in with Hill. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great effort there. His first touchdown of the new season. And the Vikings are able to close the gap just a bit. Butker now to kick this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And a good effort on the return there. Gets them across the 30 to the 33-yard line. The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, second down.
And that's one of the few times they've been able to contain him. He's had a heck of a game, and maybe he's getting a little bit tired from how many times he's carried the ball. But I always think back to what all those old coaches say. The ball's not that heavy. Keep carrying it, kid.
Eluding the pressure right. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And now a timeout taken here defensively with 2:07 remaining. So they'll also have the stop coming up at the 2-minute warning. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Johnson. And that is incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Time for a break. We're back to finish this one off after this. Now this is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. To throw on 3rd down, Johnson. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field, and he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawks touchdown. In for the score, and the Seahawks add on to their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
And now out comes Minnesota. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time. But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Daniels. Now a desperation throw deep. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs. On first down, Daniels. He's going to let it fly. And now here is another interception. Picked off at the 30. And he will take this across midfield and down to the 48-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran a wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
He's had a big game tonight, and while no one's going to be overly concerned about that last play, you also know that the offense coordinator does not want to see that happen again. They want to get back to doing what they've been doing all game long.
Detroit! Detroit!
That one looks like he'll throw here. And Johnson lost the football. It's loose, poked out. And this belongs to the Vikings.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. Back to throw. Daniels. And nearly another interception. They've been around the ball all game. He started out having some troubles back in the first half connecting with his receivers. Really hasn't gotten a whole lot better.
Yeah, he's at less than 50%, and you and I both know that just won't do. So I would think about spreading things out, putting it on the receivers, make them win those one-on-one battles on the perimeter and find their way open.
Back to the air on second down. Daniels. Over the middle, complete. That's Marshall. And they move this all the way down to the 9. That goes for a gain of 31.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that and have explosive play.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Now a final chance to stop it here as a timeout comes in with 10 seconds left in the game.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury.
Here we go now. Blue 90. Blue 90. Gone, gone. Gone, gone. Back, back, back. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Mike 20, Mike 20, Mike 20. Detroit! Detroit! Hey, man up, man up,
To throw on second down. Daniels. He's got it. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great play there. With 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Vikings are able to cut into that deficit. Butker now to kick this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. Only 1 timeout defensively, so this should just be a simple kneel down.
I agree totally. I looked at my time management chart. It says take a knee, victory formation. They just have 1 timeout left, and that should be all she wrote.
By the way, it's a good thing you can read that because nobody else can.
Not with my chicken scratch, not at all.
Lucky 56. 25,
Johnson on first down. Forced out to his left. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And all the way down to the 42.